right, these lunatics that we have in the studio today, Sergio and Catalina, you might know them as the Taco Tourist and Catalina Eats. So very good friends of mine and Brent's, and very knowledgeable in the Austin food space. So they're going to spill some deets, spill some secrets, some conspiracy theories, perhaps, and we'll see. We'll see if you guys stick around.
Yeah.
We'll see what we can get into.
Push us.
Yeah, well, we'll get the details.
Okay.
We have our ways, my friend.
All right.
But thank you guys for coming. It's an honor to have you here. But I want to start with, I know you guys have such like voracious followings here in Austin. People love you. They follow your content, but they may not know you. They may not know your story. So I want to start first with how you both got into food blogging, and then how you met. Did you meet through food blogging, or did you kind of spark that afterwards? Okay, so tell us the origin story.
Can you bring that mic closer to you?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you want to go first?
Two fists. Okay.
Two fists.
Okay. Well, I will start how I got started. I am originally from Minneapolis, Minnesota. So I started posting about food probably during college, 2010-ish. And then did that in Minneapolis, but moved here in 2020. And I wanted to start like brand new, just like Austin, because I knew that this would be indefinitely my home for a very long time. So I scratched the Minneapolis stuff and then started brand new with Austin since 2020. And so for me, it's just been really highlighting supporting local, supporting hidden gems, mom and pop shops, and doing a diversity of foods. But I do gravitate towards burgers, fried chicken, sweets, and Asian food, Vietnamese
She
food.
loves her burgers. Loves them.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
So,
I mean, yeah, you're right.
So, but I like to highlight a little bit of everything. So, but yeah, I'm grateful that I had uncles that love to cook and bake. And so that exposed me to a lot of foods. And also at a young age, like my sister introduced sushi to me at 10 years old. And then I was introduced to like Venezuelan food, Peruvian, Argentinian food at a pretty young age. So I feel like I've been exposed to a lot of different foods. So I just love cooking and baking, and I like sharing that with others too.
Your baking always just like every time you post something that you just baked, I see it on Instagram. I'm like, fuck, I know their address. I could just drive there right now.
It is.
And if y'all
eat
live
those baked goods.
closer, I would definitely drop off a lot for you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
And I'm willing to share at any time, if you can help. But as far as me, I'm from Texas. I'm from a small town called Madisonville. It's 4,500 people, 3-to-1 cow to person ratio. We got 2 street lights. We do have one barbecue place that was like my go-to, Larry's Barbecue. We actually had a pop-up that we did for him. And
you guys blew Larry up.
Yeah, we blew him up. We got him like 300,000 plus followers in a little less than a month, or a couple months, I should say. I kind of lost track. But yeah, he's our hometown hero. And I think he was probably the spark for me. I'm in a little bit of an opposite situation of Kat. Like, I grew up with just Mexican food, dude. Like, there's like a lot of American dishes that I just never had growing up. Just every single day, some sort of protein with rice and beans. And that's just kind of what I grew up with. When I started going to college and stuff, then I started exploring different things, and I got really into the food thing. And then as far as my page specifically, the Taco Tourist, that came from, it was a post-breakup. And I just had all this time in my hand, and I was finding myself going to like the same 2 or 3 spots, whether it's just because it's convenient on the way home, maybe the price was good. I was just like, hey, they're good. Why change it up? I started, going to different places. Like, let me explore my city. Let me figure out what we have here. This is a big place. So I started checking out all these places, started posting on my personal account. People started asking me like, hey, where'd you go? Where's this place? So I just said, you know what? I'm just going to separate this. I'm going to make my own account and make it a food thing. So I decided to officially launch, I think on National Taco Day, the year before COVID. So sometime in October, early October. And that was my first post. And that was the first thing I did. And it's been a few years now. I didn't really think this was going to be what it is now. I thought I was just going to be posting, going like to a taco place once every couple of weeks, posting about that. And that's kind of how it started. And now it's like insane. Now it's like we're just eating all the time.
Mm-hmm.
All the time you guys are eating.
Well, weekends all the time. We have to.
So you guys must be training a lot then.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because you guys are both in great shape.
You're both in way too good of shape to be eating the way you
I mean, there's a training regimen here. You lift heavy and you eat tacos. And
in that order.
Yes.
That's the whole process. Yeah. You have
For
to stick with that. Otherwise, you get into trouble.
Yeah.
What do you guys do for your workouts? Just real quick.
I'm pretty traditional with weightlifting. I do traditional split. So I weightlift 6 times a week.
Damn.
Force myself to run once a week. But yeah, I keep it really to the basics. Like
body part splits? Or
yeah.
you-
So like actually I do like back and buys one day, chest and try. So like a push day, a pull day, definitely three days of legs, spaced out 48 to 72 hours apart. But
Cool. Good.
yeah, so I have good recovery in between. But
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm similar. 6 days a week, and then on my off day, I play soccer.
Sweet.
Usually, I play 2 games of soccer on my off day, but I messed up my foot recently, so I've been kind of tailoring it back.
Have you checked out that indoor or
On the rooftop?
yeah.
Actually, you invited me to that recently. I'm not a short. I like to be
Big
on
field.
grass. Yeah, I like big field grass, long balls. Like, this is kind of my vibe.
yeah?
Long balls. You're a big long balls guy.
I'm a big long balls guy.
Exclusive.
Exclusively, yeah. You heard it here first. Sergio loves long balls.
Big round.
Clip it.
Long balls. Yeah. But yeah, I'm into that. So yeah. But how we met? That's a good story.
Yeah. So
So that was
I
a racist, first of all.
no.
You're not?
First-
Get out of this
Yeah,
podcast studio.
Okay. It's,
For racist only.
so I started following Sergio based because like he was focusing solely on tacos, and in Minnesota, it's not like we have a good taco scene or Mexican food scene. So following him, knew him as a taco tourist, didn't know his first name. So as we were
Still a lot of people
talking
don't.
on Instagram, I knew him as a taco tourist, and I think one time he got invited to a restaurant and he had asked me if I could be his +1. So usually if you get invited to food trucks or restaurants, you get a +1. So when he reached out to me, the restaurant that he wanted to invite me to, as him being the taco tourist, was Fanatic, which is a Vietnamese restaurant. And
I
I'm
didn't
like,
know she was Vietnamese.
yeah.
okay?
So I was just like, oh,
You hold on. You didn't know she was.
No.
yeah.
It
Apparently
was
not.
a taco. It was an invitation to try a special taco. I didn't think about the Vietnamese connection,
yeah.
and I didn't even know you were Vietnamese. But yeah, anyway.
But I thought originally, I'm like, man, this is the taco tourist. Like he's eating tacos. Why is he inviting me to a Vietnamese restaurant? So yeah,
But that's how we met. And it was all friendly. And I've met several food friends in the food community the same way. You get a +1. You invite someone that you've been socializing with online. You get to know them, as a person.
Cool.
You break bread with them or tacos, tortillas. But you get to know them as a human, and then eventually, you have all these collaborations and things of that nature that come up. So I feel like the Austin food community has been stronger bonded before, but I think that there's still a lot of that happens.
So when you say you get a +1, you mean like as a food influencer, these food trucks or restaurants will reach out to you and say, "Hey, come try our place. Here's a +1."
Let's talk about that for a sec, because I think that's important to call out for a lot of folks, because you get a lot of questions and there's a lot of assumptions. So it's nice to kind of be able to clear it out. But originally, how it all started is we just go and we spend our own money wherever we want, go wherever at our own time. As we got bigger and we had a bigger following, there's a lot of restaurants that will reach out. Usually it's openings, like soft openings, things of that nature. Or sometimes it's maybe there's a new menu that's coming out for the fall, or something like that. Maybe a struggling business that needs to get more people in the door.
And I think a lot of businesses too, since they've been following us, they're like, I like your content. I like how you share local businesses. Would you mind coming in and tell us your experience and your thoughts? So for us is we want to be as transparent as possible. And so when they say, I love when they introduce themselves, like, can you come and try our food? Tell us your experience, because they want feedback as well. Like, so it's us coming in, eating the food just like any other patron, and also giving them our personal feedback and how they could succeed or improve, or,
Yeah. I'll tell you like what we don't like. So the turn off of like how people engages. They'll say, hey, and then they'll like copy paste our handle, like at the taco tourist. Like, took no time to look at my profile, right? We love your content. Really, you don't even know my name. It's on my bio. We'd love for you to come try one entree and one
drink,
one cocktail in exchange for a reel and three in-story feeds.
They're trying to make it transactional
and it was
like
like
a deal.
Dude, like that's a turnoff. Like in the world of what we do, what I'd love to hear is when people say, "Hey, I love your content. This is us. This is what we bring to the table. This is who we are. We believe in this. This is our mission." I think that your people that follow you will love our food. Would you be able to give us a try? there's no exchange of they're not asking.
There's no
for something.
stipulations. There's no like we can form our own opinions too.
Exactly.
You know, and not like.
And that's the part, right? So like I think for us, it's very important that we set the tone for them to say, hey, listen, we're gonna come in and thank you for feeding us.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it.
If we had a good experience, we'll most likely share it. But if we didn't have a good experience, then we won't share it.
Yeah. So the trick is invite the influencer out, make sure they have an incredible experience and really good food. If they're going to post about it.
Yeah, and let's talk about that too. So not to segue too much into that, but right now, but basically,
well, no, I think this is good for restaurants and food trucks and people to know, so that they're not just annoying all the food influencers. They can actually get a better outcome.
Like it's a brand thing for me. It's like, you know, if you represent yourself in a certain way, that appeals to me in saying, oh, you actually care about stuff. You care about the food that you're serving. It's not just a advertisement or marketing kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So the whole way that they approach us, I think that really makes a big difference. And to Kat's point, we have like a stipulation back to them and say, hey, listen, we won't post unless we have a good experience and we enjoy the food and there's something we can talk about. And there's certain dishes that we may not like, and we will share it on the reel or the video, but we don't necessarily talk about it. Yeah, we don't like
about it.
If you read our caption, there won't say, you know, hey, try every single dish. We'll talk, you know, maybe there's something we outline the prices and stuff of everything we tried.
And here are what we like.
But then we talk about what we liked, yeah.
And the other thing too is I actually don't like I know there's an arrangement. They know that we're coming in, but also sometimes I like it when they don't know that we're coming in because
secret shop
favorite.
Yeah, because there's been times where people's attitude changes depending on who it is.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're like, oh, they're influencers, let's put on a happy face and give them the best service for right now. But in reality, that's not your routine.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to treat me exactly how you would treat any of your other paying customers or patrons.
And we've had that experience, by the way.
Yeah, we've had both.
Come in invited, and then we're like, we love this place. Let's come back. And we go, and she has a very specific personal story where I
came in a couple months later, and it was just like the same server, same waitress, but because her manager was not there, it was a complete 180 different experience. And I'm like, I would never take anyone there again.
And I feel bad because there's a lot of folks that will comment on our posts, and they'll say something along the lines of, when I went, it wasn't good. Or when I went, it was a really bad service, or it took this long, or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, I think that what people have to understand is, you know, a lot of times our experience isn't equal to what your experience is going to be. We just share what we experience, you know. And to Kat's point, we love mystery shopping, right? Like we love to be popping in and do that kind of stuff. It's just really hard to now with our schedules and stuff to be able to do that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But that is my favorite. When you just like randomly drop into a spot, or you just driving around, you're like, hey, that place looks new. I've never seen that. You just drop in and they have no idea who you are, and this doesn't matter. You're able to like freely like talk about it. I mean, that's the best for us.
Yeah, because that was before Sergio and I got together. I mean, weekends, Saturdays, visit 3 to 4 food trucks, by myself. He did his own thing, and then that was our routine, Saturday and Sundays. And now that we are together and we do get invited to a lot of places, we really have to allocate our time. Like,
we have to be intentional.
Like, who do we prioritize? And
And we have this is not a brag or anything like that. This is opposite, like showing how hard it is. But we have a list of probably 20, 30 restaurants combined of invitations that we have. Mm-hmm. But it's like we don't have that many stomachs. You know what I mean? We can't, and we have full-time jobs. We don't get paid for this.
It's a hobby.
It's a hobby for us, and we love like supporting new businesses, and we love obviously eating different foods. But at the same time, like there's only so much we can do, and we don't want to be 500-pound people.
Mm-hmm.
So,
want to monetize? Do you want to turn it into a business, or you like the way it is?
Yeah, no, not really.
I personally like the way it is right now.
Perfect.
I'm a full-time nurse. I do modeling on the side, and nursing alone is as stressful as it is, and it's so serious. Whereas I want to keep the food thing fun and light, and like do it whenever I want to. So meaning, if I don't want to post for a month, I don't need to post for it. There's no like pressure or any responsibility to anyone, or I don't want to owe anyone anything. I want to create my own schedule with that, and also have fun with it too.
And we know a lot of creators that went that route, and good for them. They've quit their jobs and they're able to do that. I just don't want to lose the passion that I have for that and make it a job. And with that said, early on, I definitely participated in a lot of sort of income earning campaigns. Slightly different though. Like my motto when I started, I made a promise to myself that I would not ever charge, because I heard other influencers, content creators doing that, but I would never charge, especially mom and pop shops. Like that's crazy to me. You know, they're barely making it. The food that they feed you with, I mean, that's already, you know, that's a gift that, you know, they probably are, you know, struggling to give you. But I made that commitment, stuck with it. But when a brand with millions of dollars worth of budget reaches out to me and says, hey, and I already love the brand and it's like a win-win for everybody, why not? Why not do a campaign or something? And, you know, you'll win. And this is years ago. So like, imagine if you were being proactive about this. Like you could really make some money. I think one year I made like $10,000 in campaign money. And that was me just sitting idle. Like someone reach out, and I said no a lot. By the way, I said no a lot because if it's like, nah, I'm too lazy, I'm too bored, it's too much work. But even then, I made 10 grand like easily, like just a few videos.
Yeah, super passively, not even trying.
Yeah, super passive. So like if someone is you know strategic about it and they really want to do this for that, they can make a lot of money.
Do you have any burger spots you're like absolutely obsessed with right now in Austin?
Yes. Well, we had one. We had one yesterday.
This is, you guys are getting the sneak peek.
And
The first people.
I don't
we
know
told.
when this episode will be released, but they're
that might be
just
tricky.
as of right now. A food truck in the domain called Wagyu Yumi that offers A5 Japanese Wagyu.
First of its kind. There's a lot of the Wagyu, Texas Wagyu.
Texas Wagyu is not the same.
Not the same.
Vastly
It's not
different.
A5.
Tony was telling me about that.
It's not
A5
the
is
same.
way different, right?
It's so different.
If you're
It
not
is-
eating A5 Wagyu, it's not Wagyu.
It's not Wagyu.
It is like a top 5 eating experience.
Really?
And
Like
it's not
when
for
people
everyone.
say like it melts in your mouth like butter, it really does.
Yeah.
Like
We-
you put it in
we-
your mouth, you don't need to chew and it just disintegrates. And so we had this burger yesterday and basically he was saying it's like between a Hawaiian bun. It's made, so the A5 is made of brisket and ribeye, which is one of my favorite grinds of meat for a burger patty.
nice.
Like, and so when I took a bite, like the meat just evaporated in between the buns. And I'm like,
Yeah, I mean, you
Not.
just bite right. You just like you
Oh,
like if you don't have teeth, this is a perfect burger.
Yeah.
For you. You know what I mean? Like,
so he's
Just
gonna
mush it
have
down,
he's gonna
baby.
have this Wagyu burger pop up next Sunday, November 17th at 12 o'clock. So, but we're trying to convince him to make it a permanent menu item because it's that good.
he's
But
not in the best location. Domain is great. There's a lot of people, but a lot of people will look at the prices and be intimidated because although A5 is incredibly expensive, even at his food truck pricing, I think a bowl of like rice and Wagyu, like for his other stuff,
it's
it's like 45 bucks.
Yeah.
I've seen you post about this. He does the bowls. He does like
Yes.
Wagyu bowls, but you're saying he also will do pop-up burgers.
This is the
He
first time.
This is the first
This
time.
is the first. We did a preview yesterday, so we got to
preview
test it out.
Yeah.
So that we can also throw, because we love him, and he does great food, and he cares about the guy when we met him, he brought us like the certification papers on the A5, and it has this little cute little imprint of the little
Oh, yeah, the
cow that you're
nose-
eating.
Was it the
Yeah, a little nose.
it
little
was
nose.
like a birth certificate.
It's like
of
the stamp is the
Yeah.
The stamp of the cow.
It's kind of fucked up.
That's kind of fucked up.
It had
Hey, this is a
his
fucked up
name.
podcast, baby. Yeah, let's go. I mean, no, but
A
it
legit-
makes you feel like a legit. And then the guy's Japanese on top of that, so let's just kind of call it what we see it. But he knows his stuff. You know what I mean? Like this isn't like another person that's trying to gentrify like this A5 process. Like
That's
he
our-
knows it.
Like underrated food truck,
Oh.
but also best burger that we just had.
So good.
Also, I really like Thunder Chief burgers. They have a good smash burger.
I haven't had that. Oh, actually, I did.
We also have Lace burgers, but
Oof.
they're also a pop up. They've been popping up in Austin.
If you guys have not had Lace burgers, you are
that's like a
missing
good
out.
true smash.
And I hope that
Okay.
the lines are not crazy now because we traveled the journey to Georgetown. It's like a pilgrimage almost. It's almost like
so far.
almost like the barbecue thing. And it was hectic for us. We were like figuring out where to go. The parking it's a big mess. We finally figured it out. We didn't have to wait that much in line. I think like 30 minutes, and then we waited like less than an hour to get the burger. But those burgers are incredible. They're incredible. And by the way, do you guys know what lace is? Like a lace on a burger? It's
No.
like the outer crispy edge.
Okay.
That's what they're
On the-
named
on the
after.
So
patty.
it's like lace
For a
and
smash burger.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
It's,
All right.
So it's
I didn't know that.
crispy and
Recently.
charred and juicy in the middle.
It's super good. It's so
Yeah.
delicious. And if you do go, I'm biased. I like the spicy one. The spicy burger is amazing. It's really good.
So those are my top 3. burgers.
She has a whole like.
But I do have. I mean, I have different tiers. There's like the tier of like high end
Different tier,
burgers.
girl. Yeah.
Then there's like the middle tier, and then like the lower tier.
And that's
then,
not
like,
it.
What price
she's
range?
got the different kinds of burgers.
Do you want
like
a
you
pub
got your
burger? Or
diner.
you want like a
yeah,
smash
there we
burger?
go.
Okay, what's your? I'm curious, like the two extremes. So what's your favorite high end, like price is no issue burger, and then what's your favorite, like maybe fast food, just gritty, get in, get out, super cheap burger?
Ooh, I have an opinion.
Okay, so gourmet up there. Well, the A5
Wagyu,
burger
okay.
that we just
Yeah,
had. So
$45.
that's gonna be priced at $40.
Money's no issue, pal.
Yeah,
For a good A5
yeah, for
burger,
a good A5.
don't worry about me.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. That's the one though. That's the one. I'm in
Bottom
agreement
tier.
there.
Okay.
Oh man.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
Dan's.
Dan.
Okay.
Dan's is a classic
Dan's hamburgers,
Austin.
yeah.
Dan's a
Yeah.
classic Austin staple. If you are in Austin, if you're moved to Austin recently, you haven't had it, you got to go try it. And hey, you know what? It's not gonna be the best burger you've ever had, but it's really
Good
damn
Austin
good
classic burger.
Mhm.
for an Austin burger. Yeah, and of course you can throw in like Sandy's or you can throw in Top Notch. Those are other Austin classics, but I think those belong in the conversation.
I've been partial to Shortstop.
Whoa.
I
You just got judged
I
so
got
hard.
judged very hard.
Everyone
got
has their
so
own
much.
subjective experience.
Whoa, I would love to know. Yeah, drop in the comment what you think about Tony.
What do you
after
guys
that.
think about
Yeah,
Shortstop?
is that? Ooh, I mean,
Ooh.
You
granted,
don't like it?
No.
What did
No, but
I found something in my burger.
Yeah, it's a
Not-
sketchy. No, it's a sketchy place.
Oh,
The dude
no.
that served us was completely high. It would, like the whole the joke when you open the window and the smoke comes out. I mean, that literally happened.
welcome to Good Burger.
Yeah. That happened.
Take your order.
I was like, okay, you know what? I was like, this
I'm
guy
fine
knows
with
what
that.
he's doing.
Yeah.
fine with it,
I'm
yeah.
not as
I
optimistic.
trust
about
a
it.
stoner to make my burger.
Nope. I also got the hot dog too. Nope.
we got the chicken tenders. Oh, we went all out.
We did.
But
Yeah.
that's its own experience.
Anyway, yeah, we don't want to talk bad about Top Notch. I think they may have had a bad night. It's just, it wasn't for us, and I think that everyone should experience it on their own. Come up with their own.
I got to Mexican spots
Oof.
from you.
Okay.
Like you're the guy that knows.
Yeah. Well, let's clarify. So, like, you're talking about tacos specifically, Mexican food, Tex-Mex. Or what realm do you want to get into
Like
here?
as authentic as you can get.
Oof.
Because I always hear that all the time. They're like, "There's no authentic. There's no authentic."
That's a
there's no
tough.
authentic."
See, the premise of authentic is a tough one, right?
'Cause
Like,
there's
what
different
is
parts of Mexico, different.
Yeah, and on
Yeah.
top of that, what does that mean? Does it mean like if a Mexican dude is in the back making it but has never made a taco in his life, does that make it authentic? Versus like maybe a white guy that studied in Oaxaca for 10 years. He's white though, but he studied for 10 years. Does that make that authentic? Like, so there's the authentic conversation is a little bit confusing to have. And
To me, I would say authentic is like it's prepared in the authentic way, and they learned it. Even if maybe it's a Vietnamese guy, but he learned from a Mexican guy.
Yeah, it tastes like
Or girl.
Abuela made it, and you're
Yeah.
like,
I love it.
close your eyes.
I
and-
love it. I'm pushing back. So
Go ahead.
So Texas barbacoa, we all love Texas barbacoa, but that's not necessarily the same as like a Mexican barbacoa, right?
Right.
Texas barbacoa is typically a cow head, and Mexico and again, various parts of Mexico they cook it differently. They use a different cut of meat. They use a different animal. Usually it's like lamb, So they cook it in the ground. We talked a little bit about this before the show, but you cover it with maguey leaves or a different kind of, depending on where you are regionally, they'll cook it differently. You'll cover it up with some dirt. We don't do that here. It's different. We cook it in a pot. It's a cow head. We do the cheeks. So and on top of that, like authenticity, I think. If you even push even more, right? More like closer to your roots potentially, but like pastor, right? We all had pastor. We all love pastor. It's on that spinning vertical spit. That doesn't come from Mexico originally. We stole that from the Middle East. I think Lebanon specifically. The Lebanese people brought it to Mexico. We made it our own instead of using lamb or whatever. They used goat or pork. So they use pork. They marinate it. And Mexican spices, obviously a little different. And, it's basically shawarma, Mexican shawarma, right? But so the authenticity is confusing because if you ask someone that's not thinking of that, right, there's not that context. Is it authentic?
You're right. Authentic there's so many layers to it.
What I've learned,
everything's been stolen from another civilization.
and
at some point.
that's at the bottom line. That's it, right? And we all have to understand that food evolves; it's constantly evolving, and that we need to think of it as like this like judgment kind of thing of like, all right, well, like a bon taco, or what is it, a bao taco, like Chinese and Mexican fusion. It's like, okay, sometimes it's easy to criticize that, but hey, in 20 years, 30 years from now, maybe that's a very normal thing. We don't know. I don't know. But so anyway, going back to the authenticity thing, I don't really know if I could answer that question.
Well, let's say
100%.
Not Tex-Mex.
Yeah, not Tex-Mex.
Just not
Just like traditional Mexican style.
All right, so
like something you would, if you went to Oaxaca right now.
Let's get into some. Man, I wish I remember this name. So Oaxaca, they have a traditional dish called tlayuda. The best way to describe this, just for listeners, is imagine like a Mexican pizza. So it's like a huge corn base sort of thing. It's big. They toast it, and then they put a lot of different toppings on it, meats and stuff. And then usually they fold it in half, kind of like calzone style, and you just go to town.
Damn.
Sometimes you cut it up in pieces, depends, but it's huge. There's a couple places here in Austin that serve some pretty good ones.
What is it called? So what would you call that?
It's called a tlayuda. Yeah, and
okay, I've had that.
Yeah. For the life of me, I can't remember some of the spots. So there's one, and I hope we get to talk about the Taco Mile in a second, because there's a spot on the Taco Mile, it's Oaxaca, Sabor Oaxaca, or something like that makes a good one. There's also a couple other taco food trucks that do it, but that's a really unique dish, right? So when we're talking about the realm of authenticity, that's cool. There's another taqueria place near the Q2 Stadium that serves what's called tlaquepaque. It's a mouthful.
Tlaquepaque
Tacos, which is like basically they're small little tacos. They're served 5 or 7 in a row. And then they have this like sort of smoky red sauce with a lot of peppers and stuff in it. It's not very spicy, but it's got a smoky, like pungent flavor. And then they just drizzle that over the tacos. Whew. And that's a very unique taco. You don't see that everywhere, right?
Is that like from Monterrey?
Well, I think authenticity, we stole it. Monterrey people stole it from like people from Guadalajara, I think. I think that's kind of the, like people from Guadalajara brought it over to Monterrey, and then we made it more of a street food thing. So again, a blend of foods everywhere, even within the country of Mexico, right? Like everyone has his own thing. But the irony of it all, right? Everything is on top of a tortilla. Like, it doesn't matter. Gordita, taco, sope, it's all a tortilla-based thing. There's always a corn masa thing. So at the end of the day, what I think is authentic is that, right? If it has some sort of component that brings in the corn, that's really it for me. Now, going back to some of the, like, what I think are some awesome spots that kind of connect back to your point to certain areas of Mexico. So Cuantos Tacos to me.
Number one.
Yeah.
Number one.
That's always our number one.
I think that was actually one of our very first conversations we had with you when we first met you at the Unicorn
we threw you
Party.
on, I think, because you're
like,
live in that
tacos.
neighborhood, you got to go to
And
Cuantos.
like,
This was the inception of our friendship.
It was.
I said I lived on the east side, and you're like, have
It
you
was
been to
the glue.
Cuantos Tacos?
It was the glue.
Yeah, and we met at a Unicorn Party, and it's all history from
It's
there.
all history from there. We've been to multiple countries together, and we'll continue to. But yeah, I think Cuantos Tacos does a really good job of sort of honoring a little bit of that authenticity that we want to think of when we talk about this topic. But they cook everything on a choricera. Are you guys familiar with what choricera is? Imagine a sombrero. Okay, it's got the little thing right here.
Got it.
Flip it over, upside down.
Okay.
So it has this concave little area in the middle. That's where all the nice fats and juices go. And now you got all these different meats that are on the outside. So it's kind of like this disc-shaped thing. It's cooking. So they're cooking the taqueros are cooking all the meats and stuff, and they're using all the fat in there
natural beef juices.
to cook it confit, right? Like you're cooking it in the fat. You're rendering in the fat. So all the flavors sort of get a little bit mixed, but you have different cuts of meat. On top of that, he has like buche, right? That's like stomach, basically.
I love the buche, dude.
He has cabeza. Like he has lengua specials on Wednesdays. Every now and then, I think he'll throw trompo out there. I mean, he has a awesome. The torta is amazing.
Oh, the torta on
You've had it on
Fridays,
Fridays?
Friday.
Oh my God.
I always, like for a while, we couldn't figure out when it was.
Yeah.
We go there all the time. We're like, God damn it, it's not here again.
Oh, it's amazing. Right? Like you can figure out the time.
We kept throwing us off the scent. Like we would go,
We go so
one day we
random.
would get it, and they were like, hey, what day are the things? What day are the
Keep
tortas?
coming.
And they're like,
Keep coming back.
Tuesdays. Then we come on Tuesday. Like, no, we don't have it on Tuesdays.
Best marketing
Kept
ploy.
lying to us. Yeah.
I think it's Fridays. So hopefully it's
It
an
is Friday.
established
It is
Friday.
I think I told her to give me one. She was she
Yeah,
was downtown
I got one
Friday.
for myself and one for you.
Oh, and she said, "Should we share it, babe?" I said, "No, I think."
He's like, you don't want to share this.
Yeah,
There's no sharing those. Yeah, that place was my good. Like I would go for a run, like in the summer when it's super hot.
Yeah.
I'd go for a run, and my run would always end at Cuantos. So I'm just dripping sweat, just in line.
Good fitness tip.
Exactly. exactly. Yeah.
Finish
Guys,
at-
And
if
you
you
run
want to
at a
run,
taco shop.
run to a taco truck.
I've done that before. There's a run club. I can't remember what it's called, but there's a run club that I went to one time. I can't remember what it was. Oh my gosh, I remember it's anyway.
You just
but-
did like a 5K of.
Well, I walked a lot of it, honestly. I'm not a big runner, but we walked and then we stopped like at a couple places,
Nice.
and then we finished at Quantos. I'm like, I think I did more damage.
Yeah.
There's no deficit here.
You're like, I ate 3,000 calories
Yeah.
and burned 500.
I walked
Yeah.
most of the time, yeah. But the Quantos is great.
Other standouts like Paprika,
Paprika,
right
oh,
here on North Lamar.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're great.
Paprika.
Paprika's
You haven't
amazing.
had them?
I haven't had
I haven't
paprika.
heard of it.
They are like a top 5 for me.
They're awesome.
Ooh.
Yeah, for a little bit, I think they didn't have like a permanent home. There's some issue with the food truck or something. I'm not really sure to be honest about the drama, but they were at Lounge Play or something like that. I forgot the name of the bar,
Yellow,
but
they're like across the street from Yellow Rose.
yeah,
one
they're
of the
just doing like pop up somewhere else. But anyway, they're amazing. Have you guys heard of Con Todo?
I don't think so.
Con Todo, and I think it's Oye Taquito, which is
I've been to Oya.
yeah. Those two places are very representative of South Texas, sort of like the Rio Grande Valley, and they do a lot of that. In fact, Cuantos Tacos pays a homage to them too. They do the Matamoros tacos. You had those?
Mm-mm.
I think that's on Thursday special.
Okay.
Could be wrong, but they basically small tacos, carne asada, avocado slices with queso fresco.
onions and
Yeah, and that's like the way. Like I said, every place in Mexico you'll find tacos, but then every little, almost down to the neighborhood, you'll find like something that makes that neighborhood or city unique. And that's the Matamoros is a city in Mexico, and that's what they're known for. But anyway, so the Rio Grande Valley folks, they love those tacos, and they brought that culture here to Austin, so that's really cool.
That's rad.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the underground, though.
Oof.
The
Well,
underground.
This one blew up already. Like we went there like a year and a half ago, but El Grandpa Barbacoa.
Let's talk about that.
That one was like, that was what we were talking about with barbacoa, where it's made in the ground. And that was the only place that was doing it. So,
Yeah, to set some context, so in Rio Grande Valley, there's a place that cooks barbacoa the old school way, like the legit way, before like too much of this regulation started happening. But basically, they cook it in the ground. Barbacoa it's a cheap meat, right? So it's like a survival food. Brisket was at one point, oxtail was as well. Now those prices are insane for that kind of meat. Barbacoa is in the same boat, but this is the Mexican version, right? So like what we would do is you'd dig up a hole. Everyone's got holes in their backyard, in their house in Rio Grande Valley. You put the meat in there, you throw some leaves on top, cover it up, maybe like an aluminum sheet, throw some dirt on it. A few hours later in the morning, you eat it Sunday morning, and that's your barbacoa. So there's only one place in Texas that still does it that way that I'm familiar with, at least legally.
it's in Georgetown. So
This place in San Antonio, in South Austin does it. But now,
El Saborta.
no, we're a completely different thing. This is a place in Rio Grande Valley. This is like that started that sort of like, ooh, what's that? So it's the only place. But then, what is it, a year or two ago that Abuelos came around?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So basically now in Georgetown, so about 30, 40 minutes, depending on where you are in Austin, north, there's this place that opened up. So what his concept is basic same idea, but he's built these above ground sort of ovens. So similar concept as below the ground, but he's built it above the ground to kind of get around some of those regulations. And when we went, I mean, there was hardly any people. It was like maybe 10 people total. So we got there. We did the behind the scenes thing. I was sitting there cooking stuff up, slashing stuff up, making tacos. He was telling me about the different cuts of meats because they take the animal and they start chopping it up depending on the cuts of meats you want in your sort of pound. Because everything is you order by the pound. And they give you fresh tortillas there. Amazing experience. Delicious food. Like just you can taste everything. So like everything is just uniquely flavored. And now. They have two ovens. It's crazy.
Like 50 people deep by 8:30.
Oh yeah, it's
so
insane.
Now it might be really hard.
I just had a coworker come from Ohio, from Phoenix, and I sent him over there. He went Saturday morning, got there like at 8:00, 8:10. He said there was already like 30 people when he got there. It's crazy.
But it's a cool experience if you want.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's a little bit of a drive, but I think it's one of those things. It's much faster and easier than going to Snow's Barbecue or even Franklin's, but It's a different, unique experience in the taco world for sure.
This is what I love about Austin is constantly there's a never-ending supply of entrepreneurs, people trying cool shit, and they can become successful. It's so cool to see these smaller businesses that like overnight can become big. Like back in Seattle, you rarely see unique, authentic small businesses start and then also make it.
Yeah.
So rare.
And do you guys in Seattle, just in Texas, we have like Texas Monthly, and they do a really good job of originally highlighting, like top 50 barbecue spots. And although there's a little controversy around that, because there's a lot of small mom and pop places that get left out that list, and so there's a weird thing there. But it's directionally it's highlighting food, and at the end of the day, it's a win-win, right? But now they're doing tacos. They're doing the top 50 tacos, right?
Oh, wow.
Nice.
And so that's again going in the right direction in terms of like promoting the food and getting people to go out there and try different things, right? It's not just Taco Bell folks. But do you guys have something like that in Seattle?
Yeah, Seattle's a very foodie city.
Okay.
So we had like Seattle Weekly, and there's all these publications that would come out with top restaurants and stuff. And, they're probably the same. It's not always highlighting the mom and pops. Sometimes they'll highlight like new restaurants that are up and coming. But there's also, I don't know, I feel like it's probably the same in every major city, but it's a lot of the same people. Like you run in the same circles if you're like a restaurateur. And so if you're not in the inner circle, then it's probably hard to get the same level of
There'll be like one guy who
awareness.
opens many different styles of restaurants.
Right. And they all know each other. All the top restaurant people know each other, and they're all in cahoots. And so trying to break into that. Seattle itself is just a very cliquey place. No matter what the industry is, it's just a cliquey place in general. So trying to break into any sort of industry, if you're an unknown, it's harder to do. Then I feel like in Austin, it's so welcoming and so community focused. You're like, hey, I'm starting a food truck. Like, great, join all the other fucking food trucks. Let's hang out.
There's so much space, so you can just, as long as you get a truck, like look at the east side. It's vast. I mean, there's so many spots you can open, or you go a little 10, 20 minutes outside the city. There's somewhere where you can pop up.
Yeah.
People drive so much here already. It's like, whatever, 30-minute drive, fine. Go eat good food.
Yeah, I agree with that. Also, I'm a little bit worried about losing that culture little by little, because I've seen it. Right, there's food truck parks, South Congress and stuff like that. They were like known for that, and now like people don't even remember that. It's like it's fading away in people's memories. We have all these amazing food truck lots that there's a lot of rumors that they won't be there for very much long. Like there's going to be little, like apartments and, all these condos and stuff like that. They're going to be slowly replacing. We see that obviously happening on Rainy Street. So that's the stuff that kind of that I'm afraid of, because it's going to stop some of that innovation, that ingenuity, and that sort of American dream to pursue and create and be different. And then you're just replacing it with some sort of, over-marketed, oversaturated kind of franchise that everyone's had, and
Velvet Taco.
no one cares about you. Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
I didn't say it, but yeah.
Listen, I will sometimes get Velvet Taco.
No, but dude, out of fast food tacos, that shit's pretty fire.
They have a chicken and waffles taco. Are you kidding me?
I've had that before. Granted, it was late. It was the only thing that was
like the
available
Jack in the
when I
Box
went
of
to
tacos.
It is the Jack in the Box of
Red Rose.
tacos, but it's
it's
when you're craving like a weird taco, it's a good spot to hit. But yeah, obviously authentic.
okay. I'm not gonna support this.
Yeah.
No. Okay. No.
Listen,
endorse
make Austin food trucks again.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
make
what we need.
Austin food trucks great again.
Yeah. Do you have
Yes.
the hat already? Or
There you go.
It's on the way, buddy.
Yeah.
That would honestly be an amazing
would
hat
slap.
to sell. I would
Yeah.
buy that hat so fast.
All right, it's going to the Two Fun Guys merch shop.
No, we need to get going. But yeah, no, I think those are the types of things that I personally that I kind of think about. I'm like, man, I'm afraid we're gonna lose a lot of that culture, because Austin's known for like the food truck culture. We're known for the live music, and some of those things are kind of slowly we're losing it, right?
What do you think from your guys' perspective, since you're so deep in the food community? Do you have some ideas on how to start to reverse that, or at least slow it down?
Oof. No, I truly I don't. I mean, I wish I did. I think what we're seeing, like what people are doing to counteract some of that stuff, is they're getting pushed out, right? Kind of your point. You're going a little bit further away, to 20, 30 minutes away. And what you're also seeing with that is the prices. The prices will drop, right? So it's you won't pay. A lot of people, a lot of my followers will be like, dude, that's a $7 taco. And I'm like, I was there once. I was complaining as well. I was there with you. I'm like, dude, $5-7 taco, that's insane. And I still think that's insane. But that's a bigger issue than the business owner. That's because the business owner is parked in a place that charges them $30,000 or something insane.
It's a rent problem. It's an inflation problem.
It's a economy problem. It's like, well, do you want to drive 30 minutes away to get your taco, or do you want to walk to the taco place? Like, what's the thing here? So those are a lot of like just issues that fundamentally make this a hard problem to solve. And so that's why we need the hats.
I mean, there are already PR agencies that already highlight all the Austin restaurants. So we try really hard to highlight the mom and pop shops, the hidden gems, and support local as much as we can. So I think that's our part, the best that we can do. In terms
Agreed.
Of,
Agreed. Yeah. What we can control.
And that's why I love your guys' style so much. And like, from you guys, I've met other, like your friends that are also food bloggers. And yeah, it's rare that they're going to the big places, like you do. I wouldn't know about half the cool places in Austin if I didn't follow you guys and the people you've introduced me to.
Yeah.
To see all these little mom and pop shops, or not even mom and pop, but just new restaurants that aren't like
that
corporate.
don't have marketing or
Right.
They don't know what that means. They don't know what marketing means. They don't even
good
speak
at cooking
English.
good food, and they're like, "Hey, here you go."
Yeah.
They just open a
Yeah,
spot.
like a food truck we went to yesterday, which we did. That was a drive, dude. 35, 40 minutes
we
away.
went to Leander.
Woo!
But that's basically
Dude,
Mars.
that was
It is not
another
that bad of a
planet.
drive, but I feel like everyone in Austin complains about
I did.
driving.
I'll complain. Yeah.
I drive all the time for my job.
Sign me up for the complaint thing.
But
But
we did drive 40 minutes out to try this Venezuelan food truck called
Super good.
Britos. And so, but they had also, they had amazing arepas and also really good burgers. Worth the drive.
burgers are insane.
But their cooks or chefs have worked at 3-star Michelin restaurants in the past, and
They've worked in New York. They work in San Sebastian, Spain. They've worked here in Austin. I think the owner worked at Hestia. I think now he's working at
MRI.
Moto. Yeah. And so he started his own little business because he's super passionate about food. And this is the thing that I love, right? Like you get to talk to the people and you get to hear the stories. That's how I essentially got started, is like, tell me more, and I learn and I, sort of sponge it all in. But, the guy that runs it now, he's an employee, but him and his wife are the sole people that work there, and they're behind the whole thing. But they're just so much, when they speak about the food, they're so proud of it. There's so much passion behind it, and you can really taste it, right? You can taste the difference. And
they make their own brioche buns for their burgers.
Everything is from scratch. Everything is made from scratch and is incredible. It's really, really good. I'm glad we went, even though it was 45
Also,
minutes.
to add on, so I think that's another thing that Sergio and I love doing is like when we visit these places, we want to know their story, and we also want to highlight that. And we're not there just to eat the food.
Sometimes I
there.
ask too many questions, and she's like, "Come on, we gotta go. We gotta let them go." And I'm like, "All right."
But no, I love hearing why they came to Austin or why they started this food truck, and so we try to highlight that too, because nobody gets to really tell their story, or they don't have a platform to do that. So, yeah.
Point being, this guy. I think particularly he's from Cuba, but the owner is from Venezuela, and so hence the Venezuelan food. But yeah, he was just telling us, he was like, "Yeah, I just love cooking and stuff," and somebody else is helping him with like reels and things of that nature. But the reality is, a lot of these people, that's what they're good at. They're good at the cooking thing. They don't have an entire PR team, a marketing team. They don't have the understanding of like how to work with content creators and things of that nature to get people to even like for them to. There's tons of messages I get all the time, and I appreciate the sort of transparency. They'll be like, "Hey, I don't know how to do this, but I'd love for you to come to my restaurant. I don't know what steps. Never done this before. I opened 3 days ago," and that's like, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
that's authentic.
Yeah, that's real. And at the very least, that they're
and they're not
trying.
expecting anything in return. They're like, "Hey, can you come try our food?"
Yeah. So it's really cool to be able to feel like you're helping folks and stuff. And I think that's part of why I still keep doing it. There's times, like Kat said, we take breaks. We're like, "Oh, dude, it's too much."
We just need a break.
So much.
Because it is at the end of the day, like we also like I only spend time. We only spend weekends together with each other. I have we do our own thing during the week. We have full-time jobs, but weekends it's just Saturday and Sunday that we can allocate time to visit these restaurants. So we also have to be intentional.
We have to be intentional, and we definitely enjoy doing it together.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. There's no one in the world that can eat more sweets after being completely jam-packed full than Kat. I think Kat has 3 stomachs when it comes to sweets.
Time lapse.
It's
film her the whole time.
It's insane.
Mukbang.
I kind of had to do it.
Yeah,
I did a
mukbang, totally.
time lapse video of a burger because a lot of people are like, "Did you eat all of that?" And a lot of people can't.
That's
believe-
another thing.
Yeah, that's what
I had to do
people
it-
We should
don't
talk
know,
about
because
that.
I've gone eating with you guys.
We should talk
and
about
people
that.
think, "Oh, there's no way you're eating all that food." No, Kat legit eats all the food.
everything.
Yeah,
and more.
it's impressive.
That's an endorsement to women also lifting weights right there.
Yes.
Yes,
absolutely.
yes.
That would not be possible if she just did Pilates and went on a
No.
jog.
Yoga's not going
No,
to get you
I haven't
the
touched-
body.
This
I have-
woman needs to be studied. There's some impressive
Superhuman.
things. Like when we first started dating, I was like, all right, let's see where this goes. I want to travel with her and see, like, that's like a big sign for me. We went to Cartagena, Colombia, and we ate so much. When I say we ate so much, dude. Like even more than here because we were just jam packing it. And then I'm just sitting there. She's like, let's walk around a little bit. I was like, that might be good. That might be bad. Let's just go ahead and let's be optimistic about this. She decides to do a dessert tour.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We're walking, and you've done this with me too, and you're also kind of like that. I remember we were in in Switzerland.
Mhm.
We were just walking around aimlessly. Everything was closed.
Walk, eat,
Walk,
eat.
Yeah.
Walk, eat, and we kept pushing through. But anyway, like that night, I think I realized what I was getting myself into.
Yeah.
and I kind of signed up right there. I was like, all right,
Yep.
Well, I
True love.
I'm
Oof. It was
I'm
rough.
glad that Sergio has the same big appetite like I do, and we eat everything
Yeah.
in our videos. I think like when you see certain people or influencers, it's just like it's just odd. It kind of gives me the ick because it's like
Yeah.
people will take like one bite and it's like a fake reaction, and then they have like 10 plates in front of them, and they
Oh,
did not
love
touch
that
or
one.
eat it,
Waste all
or
of it.
they waste all of it, or they pick at it.
Then it's just an ad, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It's
Well,
just
well,
not
some
authentic.
people don't even take it home, dude. That's the reality.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
I would at least respect that. Hey, take it home, eat it later, eat during the week, whatever. Some people are just like, hey, I'm good, gotta go.
Wasn't there recently that viral influencer who like ordered a steak and he just completely dumped the whole thing? It was like a huge steak, ate a couple bites and left it, and the restaurant was just pissed.
Oh my god, no, I
Just
don't know
wasted
about
this
that.
like 20-ounce steak.
I
That's
cannot.
wild.
That is not going to run by me. Like
It's so
But-
disrespectful.
also, like like
Definitely.
these, like we talked about, these cooks and chefs are so passionate about what
Yeah.
they do. This is like their way of living. This is how they, support their families, and so just to disrespect them in front of their face and not finish the food or take it home for later.
Yeah.
But
I think there's definitely an understanding. Like they want, like sometimes we're not sitting there asking like, hey, we want this, and this, and this. We're like, hey, we're happy to, throw us whatever you want to highlight. We'll give you feedback, whatever you want. And sometimes, dude, it just keeps coming. Like literally, we'll
they'll come
have
back.
to
They're like,
reserve
"Oh, we
another
need
table.
this too."
We'll have to reserve another
Bring
table.
another
Yeah.
table over.
There's another
Yeah.
table that just holds our food because we're like, and we're trying to space it out. We're trying to obviously like record it so that we can showcase to other people, but we're also trying to eat it, obviously. And like we're sitting there struggling. We're like, like freaking rib in the mouth, and there's like mashed potatoes right here, and then there's like an entire like other bowl of something over there. It just keeps coming. So,
A wonderful problem to have.
yeah, it's a wonderful,
wonderful
problem to
first
have.
world problem.
But
Very first world. I have too much food. I
Too
need
much
another
food.
table for all my food.
But point being is like we go through it all, man.
Yeah.
We'll sit there and we'll
Yeah,
pan.
nothing
as
goes.
much
We
as
we
can.
kind of have some food scare. We have what scarcity mindsets.
That's a good. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah, we have like
It's very-
immigrant mindset.
it's
You
very
cannot
apparent.
waste
Yeah.
this food.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up with two brothers, and if like my mom would put the food in, and you just grab, eat as much as you can. That's all you get. And so we do have that scarcity mentality, and I think that in some aspects and some no, but for the food thing, for sure, I think I've gotten a little bit better at it. Kat has not, I think. Kat
I will lick everything
Oh,
clean if I
it's-
need to. The
it's-
plate.
I wouldn't say it's embarrassing anymore. I am over it. But she will sometimes like she'll have like a recipe that she'll make. She loves baking and she's really, really good at baking, but she'll like have one egg left. And then she'll say, "Oh, I'm gonna make this pie thing." And I was like, "Well, why we just had well, I have one egg left, so I can't waste the egg." Like, well, babe, you can scramble the egg. You can just like throw it on the thing. It'll scramble. You can just eat it like that. No,
No, I have to make a whole new pie. I have to go get more ingredients.
bingo. That's what happens. dude.
Perpetual
Yeah,
cycle.
yeah.
Well, I have all this flour left. I guess I have to make cookies.
And
now.
I can never escape it. Can never escape this perpetual cycle of baking.
Yeah.
How do you guys eat during the week to like help with digestion? Because if you're throwing down a ton of calories, do you
Right.
like have a way of balancing things out?
High
or-
protein.
Yeah,
high
high
protein,
protein.
somewhat low carb. It depends on like my day and
Yeah.
like what I got going on. But for the most part, like I think I stick to a staple. Like I eat 4 eggs every single day, and I try to get 50 to 70 grams of protein with my first meal. Also intermittent fast. I think she does too.
Yeah, naturally.
So I eat like 1:30 to 9:30, 2 to 10, somewhere in there. So those are like my basic rules. I'm not like super hardcore about
so we're both like
counting
2 big
calories.
meals a day.
Yeah.
In an 8-hour time frame. So
Pretty
I'm the
much,
same
yeah.
way too. Like I try to eat minimum like 125 grams of protein. mostly vegetables because I want to save my carbs for the weekend for ice cream and donuts.
Yeah,
and
so you
all
like
of
fill up glycogen, fill up your energy,
Yes.
run it through the week,
Yeah.
and then refill. That's great.
that. Yeah,
Do it.
and it works
It
well for
works.
us.
Do you,
for our
do you
And then you
track
get to
your
really-
macros consistently every day?
No,
or-
not at all. At all.
I have pretty much tracked my macros since like college, and I feel like I'm pretty good at kind of eating the same thing every day, so I know that I'm hitting my minimum protein intake. Not too concerned about carbs, but I know that I'm hitting my protein and fat intake, and then if I have a heavier lifting day, then I'll probably consume more carbs.
I don't even eat vegetables. If it wasn't for Kat, I don't think I would have a single vegetable in my house. So luckily,
His vegetables is French fries.
yeah.
Yeah, technically vegetable.
Yeah, it's a root and whatever. But so because of her, I've been incorporating like more mushrooms and like maybe some spinach and my scrambled eggs and stuff like that. So I'm trying to be a little bit better with that. But yeah, that I would say that's a big difference in our diet.
Yeah.
She's really good about the vegetable intake, and I'm not at all.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I don't know. Vegetables are overrated. You just need steaks.
you just need, I mean, I'm a steak
I'm
guy.
content with that
Yeah.
too.
No, but I'm the same. I would really eat no vegetables. But Brent and I just got a chef that delivers meals every Monday. It's great. So convenient.
Wow.
So convenient. So every
Like
Monday.
a meal prep company.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's not even a company. It's just a woman who cooks. I don't know how many clients she has, but she puts everything in a Tupperware, like a large Pyrex, and delivers it on Monday. And you give
All
her
glass.
the old ones.
Oh,
Yes, it's all
great.
glass,
Good.
no plastic, and it's
No
all
seed oils.
no seed oils, fresh ingredients, fresh meats, like high quality
How'd you
everything.
find this lady?
How did you find
Just a mutual.
Facebook Marketplace?
No, I knew someone who used her, and then I ate some of the meals.
Yeah.
And then I was like, these are amazing. Let's sign up. So everything's like healthy and delicious, and it
you
just
give
saves
her
time.
the Pyrex glass container back, and then she refills it, and then
gives you new full ones,
Oh.
and you give her
Dude.
you give her the old ones.
This reminds me of, sorry to switch a little bit here, but the tamale lady. Do you guys know about the tamale lady?
Outside
Like
of
the
HEB?
story of yes,
Yeah.
dude, you're in the culture. You're
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
So that's the thing, right? In Texas, we have the tamale lady. So who is the tamale lady? Where is she? Like that's always a question. It's like this time of year we have to buy tamales. We have to go find them, and you'll never see the same tamale lady once or twice, I should say. Like she'll be outside HEB one day with like a styrofoam sort of like ice chest. She's like selling the tamales. You buy the tamales, mostly cash only. I believe. I'd assume it's still. And then you turn around. It's like like Batman or whatever. Like you turn around and you're like, whoa, where'd she go? She's gone, dude. You'll never see her again. Never see her again. And that's the thing. That's a beautiful Texas culture that we have. Where around this time of year you start seeing those ladies kind of around, and sometimes they'll sell them out of the trunk of their cars. It's like another one that's very common.
Some say she's just an apparition.
Yeah.
Not actually real.
Why this time of year?
Well, it's part of the
Tamalada
holidays, so like,
Okay.
and we'll find out. I have a tamalada party, which Brent, you're invited.
Okay,
you want to
cool.
come?
Yeah.
We have a tamalada. This is our third annual. He's gone to both of them.
Hell yeah.
He's a VIP guest.
Big tamale guy.
But so around this time of year, Mexican culture, you get together with family and you make holiday dishes, aka tamales are one of the top. Pozole, tamales are probably the top two. And so it's a big Mexican tradition. You get together. There's an assembly line of most, traditionally women. This is could just call it how I see it. And the guys are just
Yeah.
drinking the beers and like having a good time. But what we do is like everyone gets involved. Everyone makes the tamales. There's a person making the masa, right? There's a person like filling it. There's a person getting the
Wrapping it.
husk. Person like wrapping it.
Yeah.
And then
the
running
whole
it back.
sweatshop assembly line in
It's
our
a sweatshop.
house
It's a
once
tamale
a year,
sweatshop. It's a
every
tamale
year.
sweatshop. It's fun though.
It's fun.
And you get to take the tamales home with you. So now you got like a couple dozen sometimes that you take home with you and you eat them during the week. But going back to the tamale lady thing, it happens around this time of year, but people always are asking like, hey, where's a good tamale place? I'm like, find the tamale lady, get the tamales. You may not see her again. You'll maybe see somebody else, but get that. That's going to be the best tamales that you have in Austin.
When you're just driving and you
Just if you see her,
Yeah.
don't have the cash. Have the cash on you right now. Go to the ATM. If you're listening to this, go to the ATM right now. Get you
Have
20
cash
bucks.
strictly for the off chance that you run into tamale lady.
Exactly.
I have run into her outside of it was Home Depot or Lowe's, one of the two.
Of course.
And she was at classic place. She was out there selling them out the trunk of her car, and some of the best
She knows her
tamales I've
audience.
ever had.
Yeah.
Just
There you
random
go.
trunk tamales.
And that's the reality of tamales. Tamales are going to be those people are going to be the ones. When I was younger, I think I tried, there was an entrepreneurial exercise I used to do like every month. I'd be like, come up with a cool entrepreneurial idea. And I came up with the Tamale Lady Network. And I thought it was a really cool, clever idea to start tracking them. That way they can not disappear. Like
TLN.
you know exactly. You
Tag
know
'em.
exactly where she is. You know, she ain't gonna run away.
And then you have the app on your phone and you get notifications when
Yeah.
the tamale lady is within 5 miles.
Yeah, and then I'd be the broker. I'd get a little commish on every single tamale sale. I mean, I'd be making tons of money, but they're impossible to find.
Rich on tamale money, baby.
Yeah, they're impossible to find. They're kind of like the Facebook Marketplace people. Do you know about those guys?
No, tell us.
Okay, so early on in my taco adventure, I was like, all right, well, I want to, kind of like Brent, to your point, what are some of the unique things that you find or traditional things? So I was trying to find some like, really interesting dishes of people like making them maybe at their own home kitchen. And I opened up this entire world of Latin American dishes, right? You can find people that make arepas or people that make pupusas, obviously tacos, burritos, enchiladas, like all kinds of stuff. And there was like a specific group that I found that was in the Facebook Marketplace. And so I think what I was intrigued about is they had what I was explaining earlier, the barbacoa in the ground. And so like you had to go 20, 30 miles away to like some ranch house kind of sketch to go kind of find it. And it's only like a certain day like of the month. And it's like there's all these rules, right? And I'm like, all right, I gotta go. So I was real excited. I just had gotten my what is it, the thing that the camera drone, thank you. So I got my drone and I was like, dude, I gotta use my drone. I gotta get out there and I gotta like, do some drone shots of like them cooking it up and the thing and the people come in and like I gotta get some behind the scenes. So I asked the guy, I was like, hey, can I come in maybe a couple hours earlier than pickup time to like record you a little bit, maybe like bring my drone out there and kind of showcase that. That way we can get some people to come out and buy some stuff. Dude, I got blocked immediately. Blocked. Damn. Never talked to him again.
Just because you asked.
Just because I asked. Like, there's a lot of secrecy in that. Obviously, like people don't want to get in trouble, right? They're, I don't know their statuses. That could be a question. It could be like
Food
obviously
safety,
like food safety. They don't want to get shut down. Maybe like that's not their property. Maybe they're ranch hands for the ranch, and so like selling out of that get them in trouble. Regardless, like. It's really tough. And like, so if you see that, don't be like me asking stupid questions. Just go and enjoy.
Just go.
Yeah, stay under the radar. But I think if you're looking for some really cool dishes potentially, and also at really good price, I think definitely go check out Facebook Marketplace for some cool stuff. Also, what is the flea markets, dude? We haven't done that enough. Flea markets.
I have not done that ever. So I don't know what you're talking about.
I used to go to flea markets all the time when I was a kid.
Exclusive.
Food. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Flea market.
What do you buy? What kind of food do you buy at a flea market?
Well, first of all, you get like, you had the Mexican corn?
Yeah.
Like pastel?
Elote?
Yeah. So elote like in a cup, or you can have it sort of like on a little spear. Yeah. So like they'll have elote, they'll have maybe during the summer you'll get a bolis, which is basically like, I don't know, like a shaved ice kind of thing. You'll get the big chicharrones with, the stuff on top, the big old thing. You're like, how do I eat this thing? So, on top of that, you'll get some of the classics, right? You'll get, someone selling tamales, probably someone selling tacos, burritos, like the classics and stuff. But you'll find some pretty rare, potentially, gems that, that you wouldn't necessarily find easily at some restaurant. So it's worth going.
It's awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here, guys. You guys are fucking amazing. That was awesome. Shout all your stuff out.
Yeah.
Let the people know.
Yeah, where do they
I
find
mean, I'm
you?
sure they already know, but the new listeners.
Oh, yes.
follow.
My Instagram account is Catalina Eats.
And mine's the Taco Tourist. And so we're on Instagram. We try to post maybe once or twice, maybe sometimes 3 times a week, depending on what we do. And sometimes we're MIA for a little bit, but hang in there and we'll definitely make a little comeback. We just need breaks. But we appreciate you guys having us, man.
Thank
This
you
has
for
been
having
fun.
us.
Dude, it was awesome. I'm so glad you guys came on because just a quick backstory. You guys were some of my first friends I ever met in Austin. I had just moved. Brent was already here, and then I moved like a year after he got here, and then we went to this. You invited me to this unicorn.
I was going to
party.
say, I think Brent was the glue for
Brent
that.
is the glue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Without Brent, I wouldn't have met you.
Yeah.
Like, come to this unicorn party.
And then you went
I was
solo.
like, unicorn party.
Yeah.
All right, I'm in.
Yeah. And then I was like shuffling in my sandals, and then you were shuffling.
You were
and
dressed
then
as
you were
a
shuffling.
We
you were
were all
dressed as a
shuffling.
spaceman.
As a spaceman.
You were a unicorn.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you were a Tony.
Tony. Yeah. Wild Tony appears.
This is Wild Tony.
Yeah.
But that was fun. That was a good night. And then, I think we like dropped you off home, which you could have killed us or we could have killed you. Who knows?
That's true.
And then I think we were friends.
We both could have been murderers. And then I believe at that party, just quick fun story. You guys ate the chick's birthday. You ate her birthday
We gotta
cake.
tell that story, babe. You gotta
Yeah,
tell
tell
it.
it real quick. before we
Oh,
go.
sorry. That's a really
There
funny story.
was a dessert table. I mean, there was a table of tacos and there was a dessert table. So it was cookies and
At an
muffins. But
extravagant
in the
party.
center of this dessert table was this beautiful, like 4-tiered cake, like a wedding cake. It's been
Cat's like, oh, I'm gonna eat that.
Jumping ahead.
She literally is a cat. She's like, I'm just going to eat that.
Well, we contemplated it a little bit.
It was sitting there all night. No one was touching it. Like everyone was eating the dessert
You're just watching the whole
around
thing?
it.
Yeah, we were.
Fuck,
We
someone
walked
better eat
past and like had
I
made
think it was
comments
like
a lot. Yeah.
later in the night. We gave it time. We're like,
We did. We was
people
like, hey,
had an
bye.
opportunity
You were
to dig into
respectful.
this cake.
Yeah.
So Sergio and I, we took a knife. We had to ask for a
I
knife
took
in
a
the
knife.
kitchen,
I did.
and we sliced that wedding cake looking thing. Beautiful
We
slice.
even brought Tony some, I think.
Yeah, we
I don't think he had it, but we took some to him.
went back to the other room, started eating the cake, and all of a sudden we just hear this scream,
Emotion, dude.
scream and shock
somebody ate my
because
cake.
that unicorn party, I
Like,
think
we got a dip.
it was
No, we
was
just
her
did
birthday. I think it was her birthday cake.
Oh,
So we sliced into her birthday cake, and she had yet to take pictures with her birthday cake, and we felt really bad.
Photoshop.
They ended up having to turn the cake to the side, so the untouched section was.
But it was fun. It was
Yeah.
good.
It was a very good cake,
Yeah. It was decent, you know.
but if
6 or
that's
7.
the worst thing we've ever done was dig into somebody's cake. I mean,
Probably not the
I
worst.
doubt that's
but-
the worst.
Not the worst,
Yeah.
but it was up there. It is, you
I
know,
don't know. I've traveled to 8 countries with this guy.
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
tell
yeah.
you that's
Yeah,
not the worst
yeah.
thing he's ever done.
in particular, this particular story, that's probably the worst thing that happened that night. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was great. And everyone lived, and now we're all friends. So
Yeah.
all good.
All good friends. Well, I appreciate that you guys came onto the podcast. I've wanted to have you on for a long time, and you guys are
we're
fans,
busy
fans
eating.
of the show.
We're
You
busy
guys-
eating.
Too busy
That's-
eating. Guys, you don't know how hard it is to get these two out of a
It's
restaurant
difficult.
and
Yeah.
into a studio, and we had to lure them with tacos. So that's the only reason they came. But thank you guys so much for coming.
Yeah. Thanks
Love
for
you
having us,
both.
man. Appreciate
Absolutely.
you. Love you too, man.
Yeah.